Hello everybody, Megazard here, back at it again to give you another normally I would say an exciting video though, but today is going to be a different kind of video because, we did get the unfortunate news from Nintendo roughly about a couple weeks or so ago that the eShop for both the Wii U as well as the Nintendo 3DS will be shutting down by the end of March 2023. So some kind of sad, bittersweet, news from them though. But in this video today, I wanted to go through and just talk about some of my fondest memories, kind of going through some of my stats and stuff of the games I've been going through and playing for both Wii U and 3DS, as well as showing off some of the games I managed to get for both of these two systems, and then just kind of inform y'all some status updates of the critical dates that we should be aware of as we kind of get into the closure of the eShop and what this basically all means, and just kind of my overall thoughts on it though. So without any further ado, let's go ahead and jump straight up into this video. So with the Wii U and 3DS eShop closing by the end of March 2023, it is kind of shocking. They are giving us at least an entire year to kind of prep and prepare for it. You would think it's a whole entire year, but for most people it might be a little shorter than a year. So I got the stats pulled up in front of me though, so let me go ahead and review everything that they basically listed out in their FAQs. So as of late of March 2023, it will be no longer possible to make purchases in the Nintendo eShop for the Wii U and the Nintendo 3DS family of systems. It will also no longer be possible to download free content, including game demos. Furthermore, as this date draws near, related services will cease to function. So as of May 23rd, 2022, it will no longer be possible to use a credit card to add funds to an account in Nintendo eShop or the Wii U or the Nintendo 3DS family of systems. And then the second main date is as of August 29, 2022, it will no longer be possible to use a Nintendo eShop card to add funds to an account in Nintendo eShop on Wii U and 3DS. However, it will still be possible to redeem download codes until March of 2023 though. So let's look at that first date that they listed out here. So as of May 23rd, so we basically, from the time this video is dropping, what is it? It's going to be roughly about March or so. We're going to have roughly about a couple of months. Well, we only have a couple of months in order to still add funds to your Wii U and 3DS via credit card. Once that goes down, the only other way how you're going to be able to do it is if you go to some place like Amazon, purchase a gift card through there, an eShop code, and put that money directly into your 3DS or Wii U. However, you would no longer be able to add funds via the eShop way with the eShop cards as of August the 29th of this year in 2022. So once that day comes around, that basically almost eliminates all the easy ways that you're going to be able to add funds to your accounts and be able to buy these digital games that, to support these developers and stuff that worked hard on these games though. So beyond that date, there's really no way how else you could do it except for one thing. I don't know how many people actually have mentioned this though, but if you do happen to go through and link your Nintendo account with your Nintendo Network ID, that's what they called it for the Wii U and 3DS though, but if you link it with your Network ID and stuff, that way your wallets are joined together between your Switch, your 3DS and Wii U, it is still possible to add funds to your Switch's wallet, and that wallet can get shared with your Wii U and 3DS, so you could technically still add money into the thing beyond the day of August the 29th. So that's like your loophole effect that will last you all the way into March of 2023. So do kind of keep that in mind if you still wanted to add more funds to still kind of get some games maybe at last second, because I know people are still gonna be scrambling to pick up some of the games that might have skipped out on, or some that are going rare. I know the cost of some games on eBay, like Xenoblade Chronicles X, some stuff like that is gonna be way off the Richter scale and be way cheaper to technically get the digital version of these games though. So those are the 3 dates to keep in mind. Let me go ahead and pull up my stats, because they did drop an interesting tweet out below all of this information of them shutting it down, where it kind of goes through it and showcases off all the stats that you have for your Wii U and 3DS in terms of your gameplay stats and everything of that nature though. So let me go ahead and pull it up for y'all real quick. All right, so here on the website where I clicked to the link that they provided on the Twitter account, which I'll leave that link down in the description box down below for all y'all if y'all want to see your Wii U and 3DS stats though. But it showcases off some of the memories for your 3DS and Wii U. So let's go ahead and get started on here. Which one to do first, 3DS or Wii U? I guess I'll go ahead and do Wii U first though. So we'll go ahead and pull that one up and see some of the memories for this though. Dang, okay, so I played 769 hours on the Wii U. I'm still kind of shocked I put that many out. Most of it must have been Smash. And I guess I played 37 titles. Okay, all right, whatever. Like what I said, Smash Bros. For Wii U was my highest at 345 hours. Earthbound for 54 hours. Okay, that's kind of crazy. Not even like, like an exclusive Wii U game. It was, virtual console game on the SNES originally. I do remember when that game came out. I had some fond memories playing through that, but I guess it took me about 54 hours to beat it. And then Mario Kart 8 coming in last place at 54 hours. So not last place, third place. So some interesting stuff, and you can kind of see here, I guess I was kind of leaning closer to action adventure kind of multiplayer with the Wii U, which, yeah, I can see that. I can see that. Yeah, because Nintendo Land put a lot of hours up into Nintendo Land. And then, Twilight Princess over there. And obviously Smash 4 and all that stuff. And yeah, and then you can kind of go through and see all the different games that I kind of went through and downloaded and played. Some of them are digital, some of them are physical and stuff like that, which I'll showcase off some of my physical games later though. But yeah, so all the different stuff I kind of dabble in, and it counts all of the demos as well though. Okay, I was wondering about that though. All right, so that was basically it in terms of the Wii U memories though. Let me pull up my 3DS ones and see what's up in here. Okay, 851. Okay, I guess a couple of hundred hours extra than the Wii U. I'm surprised it's not more than that. Okay, and 66 titles. Now you can tell most of the games were on the 3DS because 3DS was way more successful than the Wii U. Let's see here. Pokemon Sun at first place at 137 hours. Golly. Pokemon Y at 93 hours. All right. And then we got Fire Emblem Fates Birthright at 80 hours. Okay. Oh, shoot. Yeah. I was putting in a lot of time in them RPGs, and you can tell by my stats. Yeah. RPGs, I was doing quite a bit of stuff. I think the Pokemon games were the things that kind of held it up the most, though. But yeah, so I can see that. Also, Pokemon Y and Mega Ruby over there. Strategy, both the Fire Emblem games and action. Ooh, Kid Icarus Uprising, great game. I'll say some more about it here a little later though. And then you can see all the different kind of games that I had up on this system though. Talk about the physical games I got later, and then kind of give some quick nods to some of the digital. Oh, Dylan's Rolling Western. Oh my gosh, man. Oh goodness, that takes me back though. But yeah, oh goodness, yeah. So a lot of good games that were up on the 3DS though. It's gonna be sad to see these games go through time once these eshop servers go down in March of 2023 though. But I guess that's basically it in terms of all the stats I have for my Wii U and 3DS. So all in all, some very interesting stats, at least from my side of things. Looking back at it, golly, I can't believe how many hours I put up in the system when you kind of see it at the very tail end of things though. But let me go ahead, since we just finished 3DS stuff, let's go ahead and talk about some of the 3DS games that I currently own, and some of these games I got physically throughout the years though. So first up on my little stack right here, I do got Pokemon Sun. Pokemon Sun, a very interesting game, a Gen 7 game, and I put a lot of time, as what you saw up on there though. I think a little more into the Ultra Sun, which also got it right here in the stack as well. I got Ultra Sun right here. The burnout between Sun as well as Ultra Sun right here, shoot, it was real, because honestly I like Sun a lot better than Pokemon Ultra Sun, because it was the fresh new take on the series and whatnot though. Ultra Sun came out like 1 year after that, so I was like, I was feeling really burnout though. But Sun was good. Ultra Sun didn't kind of sit well. I didn't even finish the Rainbow Rocket stuff, so set those aside. Next up, I had Mario Kart 7. You can't ever go wrong with a Mario Kart game, and I actually picked it up and played it with some of my friends here lately, and we'll probably, play through some of these courses again, because, some of them actually ain't on Mario Kart 8 Deluxe with some of the courses. Maybe to get added through the booster courses, DLC that we're about to get here fairly soon, though. But, I mean, yeah, so really good game. If you hadn't got it, I'll try to. You should try to pick that one up though. Next up, I have Fire Emblem Echoes. It's the third 3DS Fire Emblem game that released on the system after Awakening and Fates though. But this one was the one that introduced voice acting in the game. Oh gosh, and a lot of different modern conveniences. This was a remake of Fire Emblem Gaiden that originally released on the Super Famicom over there in Japan, and this was the game that got localized for us over here in the West, though. So I really do love and appreciate this game. If you hadn't played this game, go ahead and do it. And also, while I'm on Fire Emblem right now, Fire Emblem Awakening and Fire Emblem Fates, both games I actually had. Awakening I had physical, and Fates I actually went through and downloaded all of those digitally. Both of those games I highly recommend if you're a strategy person or you're just getting into Fire Emblem games. Make sure Awakening you can still kind of find out there physically if you're looking on eBay and whatnot, though. But if you're looking for Fates, I'll keep this in mind. There's Birthright and Conquest. Both of those you can get physically, and then if you bought one physical, you can download the other one digitally for like 20 bucks. So you can buy Birthright physical, download the Conquest stuff for another 20 bucks. However, Revelation, that's the critical one. That's like DLC only. The only way how you can get that physically is through a special edition cartridge. I know my good friend Sonic, you managed to get that. That value is like $300, more than Path of Radiance right now, and it's even going to go up higher once the eShop closes down. So make sure if you want to get Fates, there's 3 different paths. Revelations usually is basically digital because I don't think anybody's gonna really want to pay that 300 bucks. Make sure to download the Revelation DLC because once it's gone, it's gone. I'm gonna hate whenever that has to go, though. Next up, I got Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time. I never actually went through and finished this game all the way from start to finish. Kind of, a little bit upsetting though. I got a decent way through. I feel like I might be able to finish it, at least going through and playing through Ocarina of Time on the Nintendo Switch Online expansion pack. So yeah, so the remaster versions, if you want to, play around with this part of history with the remaster versions, both that and Majora's Mask as well, because that one's on there as well. I have Majora's Mask digitally. Make sure you go ahead and pick those ones up. You can still find them physically fairly well. Next one up I got up is Kid Icarus Uprising. This is the game to get. I don't care if you don't get any of the other things that I mentioned up in this video, though. You better get your hands on Kid Icarus Uprising. This game is phenomenal, man. I mean, golly, between the voice acting while you're fighting, it just felt so real. I mean, yes, the controls are kind of a little crazy with you having to, move with the left stick, and if you're right-handed, it favors you, and you have to point at the stylus at the screen to kind of shoot your cursor around. There is an option where you can use the buttons as well to control the angle or control the camera, though, but I'm left-handed, and I learned how to play this game with my right hand with the stylus to aim the camera. That's how dedicated I was towards this game. A phenomenal game. Make sure you get it, whether it's physical or digital, before that eShop closes. And then last but not least, the last physical game I have right here for a case for is none other than Metroid Samus Returns, a remake of Metroid 2. Metroid 2, if you ever, mess with that, originally released on the Game Boy, very rough game, and I'm glad it got a remake. These were the people that Mercury Steam that created this game, and also the same creators that made Metroid Dread that recently released, though. It all started with this game right here, the setup for it, and I was like, golly, they went through and pulled a lot of different things from a lot of different games from Metroids 1 through 4 to put into Metroid Dread, though. But this one I felt like had a very heavy pull, and this is a really great 3DS game. I think it's one of the last 3DS games that released for it was like one of the last few 3DS games that released for the 3DS right before they just fully kind of switched and transitioned over to the Nintendo Switch, though. So yeah, so a lot of great games right here, though. But yeah, make sure you pick up a good chunk of these games right here. I have to say, though, a good chunk of them, just a good chunk. Anyway, I'll go ahead and set those aside right here, though. Next up, I got some of my Wii U games, and first up off the top is we got over here Super Mario Maker. Now this game right here, it was one that I like fairly quite a bit. I would say I like this one a little bit more than Super Mario Maker 2. Reason being is with the DLC, or not DLC, you had amiibo functionality with it. I think this one's the only one that had it, and Mario Maker 2 didn't, that we have currently on the Switch. You're able to kind of like get different power-ups and change the different characters. Shoot, I think you're even able to transform into a car, like a Mercedes or something like that, with one of the amiibos or something like that, or some kind of promotion they did with that. I don't know how that happened, though. but it did seem like there was more charm in this one game, and also the fact that you can use the Wii U gamepad to be able to kind of, you know, make your courses on the gamepad itself, and then turn around and look up on the top screen and then actually play them. It was just more seamless than, you know, with Mario Maker 2, just only using Pro Controller, having to aim it just right or whatever, with the stick and buttons basically though. So yes, I really did love and enjoy that game. If you got a Wii U, I'll pick it up because it's a lot easier making these levels. Unfortunately, you can't share them because, you know, the sharing aspect is gone though. But if you just like creating just for the sake of creating, it might not be a bad pickup to get that one. Also, we had none other than Pokken Tournament. This was actually a pretty fresh game. The music in this game is the bomb diggity, man. I mean, like, golly, like I still put some of the music up in some of my videos, for the ones I put up here on YouTube though. But this game was kicking between like the 3D fighting style, and then when you do like a super powerful move, whatever, then it's like mono y mono, and then you're moving like on a 2D plane. I mean, this game was pretty cool. I did love it and enjoy it though. I just didn't put too much time into it after the Wii U. There's technically a port of it on the Switch, so you can play it there. You got more DLC characters on there though, so that's probably the go-to version, but it all started on the Wii U. Next up, I have Star Fox Zero. This game was interesting. I liked it, but I still wish there was more to this game though. I mean, because it was good for a first time experience though, but I wouldn't really kind of catch myself going back through and playing through this game again though. But I mean, it was still good. It was still good nonetheless though. Next up, I have Nintendo Land. Nintendo Land. Oh goodness, man, this game, shoot. While yes, it has like a complement, it has like a lot of different mini games and stuff from different games of the series. Like you have your Zelda representation, Metroid, Luigi's Mansion, Mario, Donkey Kong, and a lot of other different stuff up in here though. It's just the way how these mini games were made, because at least for me and my family, we put a ton, and I do mean a ton of hours into the Luigi's Mansion the Luigi's Mansion game essentially that was up in here in Nintendo Land, where, you know, the person on the gamepad was able to control moving around with a cursor and stuff, and they got to see everybody on the map, and then everybody else is looking on a TV screen where they're not able to look at them, and then they have to go around and try to, you know, hunt and find all of these people though. So yeah, so oh gosh, it was a fun game. 4v1 essentially with the flashlights, and there's a lot of other games on here like the Mario Chase. There was one based on Animal Crossing and picking up a bunch of different candy though. A really good fun game. This is the one I highly recommend. It was the one that was kind of bundled with a lot of different Wii U's. Like I think it was bundled with mine where it was physically, and then I think later on in the life it was just pre-installed on a lot of different consoles digitally though. So I highly recommend you get this game if you have a Wii U and somehow you just didn't manage to get it. And then next up, you have Mario Kart 8. I mean, we know how this is. You were even able to purchase all the DLC separately and put that onto this game because they did release that there. Mario Kart 8 Deluxe is the definitive way of playing this game, but it did all start on the Wii U. And then lastly, Super Smash Bros. 4. Now, I got some things to say about this game. This game was fun, and a drastic difference from Brawl, which was the previous thing we had before that. So I really did love and enjoy this. There are a few stages on here that, I mean, all the characters obviously are representing Super Smash Bros. Ultimate we have on the Switch, but there are a few stages on here that we still don't have. And then obviously there's some single player stuff with, what was it, the World Hub thing? I can't remember. Smash 3DS had Smash Run. This one had something else. I can't even remember the name of it though. I didn't dabble with it too much though. But at least with the stages, there are some exclusive stages that are only just on this. And with that, honestly, since those stages had been brought over to Ultimate, technically some of them are DLC. And since some of the stages are DLC, once the eShop goes down, you're not going to have access to playing through some of these stages and stuff like that. So that is going to be an important part of history that's going to be lost with Smash 4, since some of those stages are tied to DLC. Kind of similar to Smash Bros. Ultimate, but that's still ongoing. So, I mean, yeah, so if you have Smash Bros. 4, make sure to kind of go through and download some of those DLC, especially those stages for both Wii U as well as 3DS, though. So just kind of keep that in mind, though. But yeah, quite a bit of a fat stack of Wii U games I got right there, though. So, I mean, yeah, I mean, some pretty good ones. So I highly recommend all of that, though. And then lastly, the digital games that I wasn't able to show physically. We'll jump back over to the 3DS side of things, and I got my 3DS right here though, so that way I can actually tell exactly which games I got right here though. But Looking at my list right here, I did mention both the Fire Emblem games. Get that, especially Fates with that DLC with Revelation. Let's see what else I got. I got Pokemon Y, Omega Ruby, Star Fox 64 3D. If you like having that, let's see. Super Mario Brothers 2. I didn't mention about that one. That one's kind of fun. It's kind of focused mainly on coins and stuff like that. I kind of like that. Ooh, Super Mario 3D Land. Goodness. Man. I still hadn't even finished that one though. I got like maybe a little fairways up in it. I did mention Majora's Mask before. Okay, those virtual console games, we're gonna have to sit down and talk about those because yeah, we'll talk about those in a bit though. We got Dylan's Rolling Western and Dylan's Rolling Western The Last Ranger. Those are 2 games I have up on here. I love them. If you like strategy games with tower defense and whatever though, that's the Nintendo series game I would highly recommend right there, because gosh, that I don't know, it's something about it where you kind of go through the day, kind of prep up your towers, set up your traps and stuff like that. These golem rock creatures kind of pop up at night, and then you gotta defend the village and stuff like that. I just love that. And there's also a 3rd game in the series. I think it's called Dead Heat something. I think. Anyway, there's a 3rd game in the series. It's only digital, only in North America, but overseas they got it physically. So I made sure to put that on my wish list, so that way I pick up that game before the eShop closes, and I won't have any other way to basically have access to playing that game. And I think that's about it in terms of most of my digital games that were purely 3DS games. And then there's also things on the virtual console side of things for both the Wii U as well as the 3DS though. But Wii U digital ones, Donkey Kong Tropical Freeze, highly recommend that one. I don't have that one physically. That one's a really good one. If you have it on your Wii U, you can do that, but there's also an option to get it on the Nintendo Switch as well, which is probably the definitive way because you got that new funky mode up in there though. So I would highly recommend it for that point as well though. And then I also had Pikmin 3 that I had digitally, because back in the day, I think when you bought Mario Kart 8, I think they allow you to kind of get one of the games for free. Pikmin 3 happened to be one of them. Really cool game, but you can get that on the Switch as well. Pikmin 3 Deluxe. So yeah, so I'll recommend that one. That's a really good one right there though. But yeah, so in terms of the virtual console side of things, so we talked about most of the physical digital stuff. Virtual console, now that's the thing that's going to suck, because technically with virtual console, at least on the Switch, they're doing it all in the subscription-based service way. But if you wanted to only own one game to permanently have digitally, and you don't have to worry about, constantly repaying for a subscription-based service like Nintendo Switch Online, virtual console was the way to do it. And with the Wii U and the Nintendo 3DS, that was the way how to do it. Once these eShop servers go down, then there's really no way to individually cherry pick whatever you want to own. You're basically forced to get into that Nintendo ecosystem of the Switch Online. Kind of sucks for those that kind of want to do it. At least for me personally, I do get quite a wide variety of things to play, but there are some things on the virtual console side that we hadn't seen in the Switch Online yet. So at least on the 3DS, if you have a new Nintendo 3DS, you're actually able to download SNES games as well though. But I'll go ahead and start with the Wii U side of things. Wii U had like a lot more variety. You had NES, NES, SNES, N64, the games, the consoles that we have represented on the Switch, but also you have Game Boy Advance games, DS games, and even Wii. I don't know why they kind of keep skipping over the GameCube though. But yeah, a lot more options than what we have on the Switch. Hopefully they'll get more over time. But yeah, Earthbound is a really good one. But they just released Earthbound on the Switch Online though, so I can't really recommend that one for the Wii U one too much though. But like for example, some of the Mario and Luigi games, I'll recommend some of those. And there's a lot of different other DS ones up on here. And in terms of the 3DS side of things, all these Pokemon games, like the Gen 1, Gen 2 games, like Red, Blue, Yellow, Gold, Silver, and Crystal, you can get all of those on the 3DS Virtual Console. However, once the shop goes down, you won't have access to those anymore. And there's also some, like, all the free-to-play games. Make sure you download all of those, because once those are gone as well, though. And especially, make sure to download Pokemon Bank, because when Pokemon Bank, once March 23 comes over, Bank will be free. But if you don't have it downloaded, you can't download it back onto your 3DS at that point, though, because they are going to keep the online servers going on a little further beyond March 23, 2023. How much further than that? It is yet to be seen, but honestly, I would think maybe 6 months or a year at tops. with you still being able to play the online. We'd be lucky to have that thing still where you can go and play Wii U and 3DS games online for an additional 3 more years beyond the closure of it though. But yeah, so I would highly recommend getting, you know, Pokemon Bank, so that way you can still have access to transferring your stuff from Gen 1, Gen 2 up into Pokemon Home, as well as anything else that's Gen 5 and before, because you lose access to Bank, then you ain't gonna be able to get on any of your stuff up in the home though. But yeah, so that's basically it in terms of my overall thoughts on this. So remember, March of 2023, that's when the servers go down for the eShop and stuff like that. So if you hadn't already, now might be the time to pick up a Wii U or 3DS, especially a Wii U, because I imagine those Wii U prices are going to go up. I actually ordered a second one, so that way, one, my family could keep here, one, I can take with me as I go wherever I go. So that way I have my own system for it though. And then I also managed to pick up a new Nintendo 3DS, or not the 3DS, the 2DS XL, the new Nintendo 2DS XL, one that was refurbished from Nintendo. Went ahead and picked that one up because I had the OG 3DS, so I thought it might be pretty good to go through and upgrade that as well though. But yeah, so if you hadn't already, make sure to probably grab a couple of systems, something like that. Download whatever you need off the eShop. Probably need to look up on eBay, figure out which ones are more expensive physically. So you might want to go ahead and pick up those ones digitally and then kind of go from that point forward though. But that's basically all I wanted to share. Some of my memories of Wii U 3DS, some recommendations, my collection, just kind of some things you might want to pick up. Probably will reiterate on this once again as we kind of get closer to some of those dates when they're like my Zarcast podcast or whatever though, and then probably a really big video, who knows. Once we get close to March of 2023, it's like a red alert. The things are going down, get what you can and get out. But anyway though, that's going to basically do it for this video though. So if you really like this video, make sure to go ahead and hit that like button, go ahead and hit the subscribe button and that bell to stay up to date on all things video game related I feel like talking about and discussing for the foreseeable future though. So remember y'all, until whatever video I make next, see y'all.